John chapter 11. But there was one being weak, Lazarus from Bethany, out of the village of Mary and Martha her sister. But this Mary was the one rubbing in the Lord with perfume oil and wiping out his feet with her hair, whose brother Lazarus was weak. Hence the sisters dispatched to him, letting say, Lord, perceive, the one whom you befriend is weak. But hearing this, Jesus said, This weakness is not to death, but for the glory of God, but also so that the Son of God through it may be glorified. But Jesus loved Martha and her sister and Lazarus. Hence, when he heard that he is weak, that abides, he then abode in that place where he was, yet 2 days. Thereupon after this he says to the learning ones, We should betake ourselves into Judea. Then say the learning ones to him, Rabbi, now the Jews sought to stone you, and you go away there again? Then Jesus answered, Are there not 12 hours in the day? So someone walks in the day, he offends not, since he looks the light of this cosmos. This he said, and after this he says to them, Lazarus our friend has been made to slumber, but I go so that I may fetch him out of the sleep. Hence the learning one said to him, Lord, if he has been made to slumber, he will be saved. But Jesus had talked concerning the death. But those deemed that he said this concerning the slumber of the sleep. Hence Jesus then said with frankness to them, Lazarus deadened away. And I am joyful because of you, that you, since I was not there, should faith. But we should betake ourselves to him. Hence Thomas, the one being called Didymus, said to the co-learners, We should betake ourselves there, also we, so that we may deaden away with him. Hence Jesus having come found him already, having spent 4 days in the sepulchre. But Bethany was near the city of Jerusalem, a way length of about 15 stadia distance. But many out of the Jews had come to Mary and Martha, so that they may consider them concerning the brother. Hence Martha, when she heard that Jesus comes, encountered him on the underway, but Mary sat down in the dwelling site. Hence Martha said to Jesus, Lord, if you had been here, not as it were, would my brother have deadened away. And now I perceive that as much as you will request from God, God will give you. Then Jesus says to her, Your brother will rise. Martha says to him, I perceive that he will rise in the resurrection in the last day. But then Jesus said to her, I am the resurrection and the life. The one faithing into me, even so if he deadens away, he will live. And everyone living and faithing into me, not, yea, not, does he deaden away into the eon. Do you faith this? She says to him, Yes, Lord, I have faith that you are the Christ, the Son of the God, the one coming into the cosmos. And having said this, she as going away came and let resound the call to her sister Mary. Having said unnoticedly, The teacher is present, and let resounds a call to you. But that one, as she heard it, she was quickly raised up, and came to him. But Jesus had not yet come into the village, but he was still in the place where Martha had encountered him, on the underway. Hence the Jews, those being with her in the house and consoling her, having perceived Mary, that she rose quickly and came out, followed her, deeming that she goes away into the sepulchre, so that she may sob there. Hence Mary, when she came where Jesus was, having perceived him, she fell to his feet, saying to him, Lord, if you would have been here, not as it were would my brother have deadened away. Hence, as Jesus perceived her sobbing, and the Jews having come together with her as sobbing ones, he was resentful in the spirit, and troubled himself, and said, Whereto have you laid him to rest? They say to him, Lord, come and perceive. And Jesus had tears. Hence the Jews said, Perceive how he befriended him. But some out of them said, Was this one, yea, the one opening the eyes of the blind one, not able to do something that also this one had not deadened away? Hence Jesus, being resentful in himself again, comes into the sepulchre. But this was a cave, and a stone lay on it. Jesus says, Lift the stone. Thereupon Martha, the sister of the one having come to the end, says to him, Lord, he already smells, for he is of 4 days. Then says Jesus to her, Did I not say to you that so if you faith, you will eye the glory of God? Hence they lifted away the stone, but Jesus lifted the eyes upward and said, Father, I thank you that you hear me. But I had perceived that you always hear me, but because of the throng having taken stand about me, I say it so that they may faith that you, yea, you have dispatched me. And having said this, he made an outcry with a great voice, Lazarus, come hither to the outside. And the one having deadened came out, having been bound with shear strips on the feet and the hands. And his be-eyed had been bound about with a sweat garment. Then says Jesus to them, But many of the Jews, those having come to Mary and beholding what Jesus had done, faithed into him. But some of them going away, they came to the Pharisees and said to them what Jesus had done. Hence the archpriests and the Pharisees led the Sanhedrin together and said, What should we do since this human does many signs? If we continue to leave him thus, they will all faith into him, and the Romans will come and will lift from us both the place, also the nation. But one, yea, someone out of them, Caiaphas, being the archpriest in that selfsame year, said to them, You, yea, you do not perceive, yea, not one thing. But also you do not consider that it is expedient that only one human deaden away for the people, and not the whole nation wholly loosen itself away. But this he said, not of himself, but being an archpriest for the selfsame year, he prophesied that Jesus himself was about to deaden away. And not for the nation only, but that also the children of God, those having been dispersed thoroughly, he may lead together into one. Hence from that day on they counseled so that they may slay him. Hence Jesus walked not no more with frankness in among the Jews, but going away from there, he came into the region near the desolate region, into the city called Ephraim, and there he abode with his learning ones. But the Passover of the Jews was near, and many stepped up out of the region into Jerusalem before the Passover, so that they may purify themselves. Hence they sought Jesus and said, As having taken stand with one another in the consecrated site, what do you deem that he does not, yea, not come to the feast? But the archpriests and the Pharisees have given inner aims that someone does know where he is. He should disclose it so that they may arrest him.